the CT side. We're not going to be sitting here for too much longer, and we're going to get straight in toward the game as well. Just waiting for all the players to ready up. So there you have it. Konkmoto has gone for LFO. I would like to hear what you guys have in the chat as well. Make sure you spam LFO or order. I want to see that chat get filled. I want to see who you guys are thinking. But without further ado, let's find out who's going to book that ticket to Dallas.
That'll be the one. Don't tell Swifty we said LFO either. He'll be upset with us. But it's always fun to witness where these teams end up, right? You know, being casters, it's our job to bring you guys the entertainment with as little bias as possible. And it is always a challenge inside that Oceanic region, but it's fun to do nonetheless. And I thank you all for watching along. Thank you all for being a part of it. But straight out mid, it's a trade 1-for-1. But Valiant, oh my god, the quick flick gets it back. And now it's Ufa. 3-on-3 with only 20 seconds into the round.
Yeah, well, Licky on that util department. See what he's going to be able to spot out with now as well as Savage picks up a flashbang. Meanwhile, for order, you've got Ustillo with that kit. Careful out for the rest of them, and they have indeed spotted out where Vexite is. We don't want to be going up for a challenge against him, even in the open. These plays need to be a little bit more measured, I feel, for LFO, that Vexite just dropped 30 on you. But now he's looking the wrong way. You got the trade out, and there's an opportunity over at that B site. Ustillo and Tux are not together.
Oh. Couple of warning shots. Nothing yet connecting. It's still such an interesting dance. Flash in. Tux wants to try and find some form of a fight here. Licky spotted. But it's a great shot. Now it's all on you. Still low. Why are they fighting? Why are they fighting?
Oh, I hate it. I'm
Getting
sorry.
towards the site now, though. He's got the smoke. He's got the flash, and now he's got the plant. Ustillo, though, has a one-up on that, right? He doesn't have any Kevlar, but he actually can get onto this defuse almost immediately. Just depends on what angle he actually wants to take. He decides to just sit straight in the middle, not even playing off a different angle at all. Now he knows. Now he tries and sells this fight. I don't know exactly what... Is he on it? Yes, he is. Okay, he is on it. There we go.
Again, bro.
He repositions, swings his booty out the other way. And Ustillo ultimately will walk away with that one. So, look, many tales can be told about that pistol round, okay?
Many tales can be told, and I'm going to tell one right here. If this is probably my biggest gripe in tactical FPS. If you've got a player advantage and you know where your opposition is, don't take the fight. Play objective.
Yeah.
That's my big thought. Yes, the players can tell me otherwise, but they peel away there. It's 2v1. It's not 1v1 and then 1v1. Regardless, Order won the round. And LFO have decided to force up. So we'll see what these pistols and the Galil and AK are going to be able to do. For APOC, he has been shut down. And correct me if I'm wrong. No, I'm not going to be wrong on this one. This is the map that APOC just kept decimating APOC, wasn't it?
Yes. No, that was Vertigo. That was Vertigo.
Was it Vertigo?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, it was. Yeah. Jesus, Licky. Okay. 2 pretty disgusting shots. He's been very quick, very sharp. Yes. Definitely one of those players to watch lately. But you need the bomb. That's the problem. And Vexite now also looking for a bit of a clear, and he does actually manage to find it because it is an awkward line to be found, right? Savage. Coming through spawn. They've got to be aware of that potential prospect now. And Ustillo, very nasty shot. So Savage may actually find the bomb itself, but he does have a couple of members waiting for him. Gyra clearing out the angles. Nade is in hand, but it is going to be Vexite to find 2 in the round, and that is a nice and clean one. So here, LFO, no plant, no business. And door will be closed on this round, and it should be a 3rd here for Order.
Yeah, definitely a passing mark for Order in that one as well. You know, they carry over 3 of these rifles into the new round. Valiant can go farm up a Storm with the MP9. Tux necessarily doesn't even need to get anything. He could just hold that USP going into the next round, but there is an A1S on the floor that he will be picking up. So for LFO, it's not the start that you do want. You got to simmer down and buckle in for this one and then get your guns out in the next. And I think, you know, the T side of LFO today has been a little bit upside down. It's been a little bit left and right. This is the map that it all needs to come and just consolidate to be one strong T side when they get their first rifle round in.
We need to see a close game too. You know, this whole entire competition has had so much to offer. Tux in a bit of a nasty spot, but Vexite is looking hungry for more. He does so much pepper damage, and he actually is going to reinvest himself into it as well. Great shot from Sterling to respond. And that's the AK taken away. But Valiant, if he does get back into position, he can pick that one up and join them. be a little bit more important than the MP9. Great shot from Sterling. Oh, jeez. There was a moment where I thought, yeah, that is damage. That is certainly damage, Dion. And now it is a 3-0 start. Good lead to be invested here by order. But of course, what's that first purchase going to be looking like for LFO? Is there going to be an AWP? Are they going to take it forward or not? To find out soon.
Find out next time on Counter-Strike. And the answer is yes. The AWP is out for Valiant to be able to play with. And now this is one of the interesting things that I've always found good to kind of touch upon in Ancient. And it plays in like Mirage, I feel, in the fact that you've got CT-sided teams that don't have a hold in towards mid at all. And then you've got teams that really like to play in towards mid. And it kind of feels like Order are on a seesaw in the moment on how they play the mid of this matchup. Right now, they've got a little bit of their hand in the mix, but it's not too far that they're looking to steal it away. Gyro's pushing down mid at the moment to try and offset this round now that LFO have found the first pick and the second. Valiant attempt for Vexite, but he's tried to do it again like the last round. And if Gyro can convert this one, might bring something back into the round, but he doesn't. And it is going to be the 5 versus 3 for now.
So far, it's Licky that's been doing all the heavy lifting, has a big majority of the frags for the side of LFO. So you can definitely tell that he's been activated here. He did similar things against Vertex earlier. And this time, Hazard will find Valiance, and that's the AWP stripped away. And unfortunately for Order, you know, after losing so much in those previous 2 rounds, it means that their money ain't great at all. And Gyra, obviously, after doing some early damage, there is a potential of where he can find some positioning back into this. Smoke goes down. He falls away, and I think he's just going to hightail it out of there. He looks like he wants to save into the next.
Absolutely no problem with that at the moment. LFO's first purchase has kind of overwhelmed you in a minute. Doing the same thing that you did in last round, right? Seeing if maybe you could cheat away another round. It doesn't happen. You're okay to go at it again in the next round with what you have here, in knowing that it is the real early stages, and it's still, you know, a CT side inclined map. So if you Silo and Gyro are the only ones with guns in the next round, so be it. If Valiance and Vexite do decide that they want to try and go in for a bit of a purchase, yeah, it's going to be on the little lackluster bit, but, you know, Order are going to throw out a strategy or two to try and get that round. I wouldn't mind, Mitch, see them play the cautious side of things. Let you still and Gyro do what they need to. If they start to get a couple of picks, all right, turn it up. However, if they don't, it's okay. They've got, you know, a gun round in 2. Yeah,
I was just waiting for it. Yeah, that's double eco territory as well. Look at the cash. 1,400 for Tux, 1,600 for Ustillo. There's a Deagle and body armor coming through there. Unless they want to take the gamble and, you know, hold off on that kind of odd double save position. And start to save up enough money where Valiance picks up the AWP. I think it'll be a definite double up too here for Vexite as well.
I was about to mention I would actually really respect and love to see a well-reserved save from Order to get out the double AWP setup, because, you know, on a map such as this, how brutal it can be to go up against. And you need to make sure you get a lot of utility on the CT side.
Yeah, well, that's it. You know, losing out on your early lead is a scary prospect to be dealing with. You know, LFO, despite not winning the last couple of rounds, they were certainly all up in the grill of Order, doing damage left, right, and center. Very tight rounds. So now they've got the opportunity to fight back quickly, find 3 potentially, maybe even 4. Really kind of tempering Order. And that's that force in. They've actually managed to pick up some MP9s. So it is a full investment. You know, they're not trying to sort of consider that AWP into the next couple of rounds. They've just gone straight in for it. Look at Valiant straight through. APOC's not going to be ready for it. What is going on?
It was the sound cue. It was the sound cue of the person coming out through the main B, and it has just absolutely completely thrown LFO for a little bit of a bender. Licky, Hazard, and Sterling, they're caught between a rock and a hard place now. As Licky does find Tux, Valiance is going to get all the information. Hazard has spotted him out, but who's going to be watching on this line? A brilliant flashbang in. Try and pose a big risk factor into every step that LFO are going to try and do for the remainder of this round. Sterling will be finding Vexite on the site. Little do they know the site is open to take. But they have no idea what Valiance and Usilla are up to right now, Mitch. Absolutely none.
Not at all. Not at all. They've certainly tossed this round around a little bit. No, Valiant's finding 2. Super good start. Repositioning on towards the site now. There is utility to isolate. He's got a smoke, he's got a flash, and he's got armor as well. The whole kit and caboodle. But now with that utility starting to go out, smoke through. What does Valiant choose to do here? How does he approach it? Has the flash? Does he want to take another fight? He's already jumped through one smoke there. Some damage dealt onto Hazza. He can't quite find the whole thing. So he's just going to wait at this point in time for Ustilla to sort of clear in.
Yeah.
Moving into the cave now.
Oh, this is going to be big for Ustilla if he can win this duel against Hazza. At least Licky for the trade, or maybe it's the other way. He's going to win the fight for Licky, but there's that trade. They have an idea of where Valiance is from that utility from the spray earlier. It's going to segregate Hazza from this fight. Sterling, the flash is known as well, and Val knows that it's an AWP, so if he can win out this fight, potentially the spam through the wall is what you'd have to start to consider. And that's exactly what it is as well. He's playing this to perfection as best he can, but the AWP is going to best him in the end, and with no kit as well. Time was of the issue. LFO will take their second. However, Mitch, might be the third with the money, given that that was Order's force.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly good damage. Certainly a tight run. But I think Tux went a little bit too deep in. You know, off the back of that control. Then Vexite showing himself to Sterling. It sort of seemed like, you know, Order wanted to force the narrative a little bit too much, you know, rather than being happy with their two-man advantage. They sort of tried to take the fight a little bit further, and it just didn't quite pay off for them. But
oh, the molly.
There's a molly that's actually been tossed as a chest mark for Vexite. One for Tux, one for Sterling. Are they going to try and push in further? Great utility usage, but goodbye, Sterling. Goodbye, Oh, jeez. That's the bomb has been left in spawn.
Oh, how does this round happen? I want to pick apart this round. He's gonna win this one. He's gonna win this on a full eco. Oh my lord!
That's two USP rounds that's happened in the grand final.
Mate, a Molotov that gets thrown to mid collides with a CT. There's the info, the whiff sprays, the USPs go in, an AWP retrieved, a Kobe ragdoll that flies past a guy scoped in as well that made me lose my mind, and then he just beams it out with two with the AWP at the end.
Well, all we can say is that Order have got their confidence back right now. They've actually taken a timeout. I don't blame them. Coach Zertz having a bit of a chat, saying, what's going on, boys?
Mate, I was listening to one of the streams the other day, and I think it might have been Dinko, it might have even been Mac, or whoever it was, saying that on this map you could have crocodiles laying in wait outside of T-spawn. Well, if there were crocodiles that inch every so often in toward the T's because of the rounds they're losing, and they lose a round like that, I reckon the crocodiles are nipping at your feet right now.
That sounds like a very Mac thing to say, but then again,
I think Dinko, it might have been Dinko.
He's been casting with Sponge, so fair, right?
Yeah, 100%. Regardless, though, LFO, they want to go quick in towards this A side at the moment. It's not too often that you see a bit of a fast A play. APOC playing Lurk in the House of Red, and he might be absolutely spilling blood in this round. You still are good for the one on Licky, and APOC's just going to turn around. He's going to try and assist his team from a little bit later on in the round. Has to be careful, good sir. You don't want to get into a spam position.
4v4. All here. All ready to boogie. This time, they're going to start to set their way out. Get some utility ready to go. They've got plenty of it. Valiant's obviously missing that important shot earlier, but now repositioned to watch the line from CT. They're all going through Temple. This is going to be a big, big gamble on the play. Great through for Savage. It's not quite enough. Vexite gets the trade, but so does Sterling. Has her up close. He's going to be punished by Valiant. And it's not enough. LFO have been absolutely decimated on that retake, and Order, all I can say is I just feel like someone else was playing back on Overpass, because Order has just reactivated in full. And I mean, still, it's early days. Ancient, the most CT-sided map in the pool, and LFO have still had some solid rounds, but that is two full ecos that have been won, and obviously the money, it's still decent for LFO, but it's just so hard to call.
Yeah,
still.
I like
so early.
I really like the patience from Order in that one as well. When they're going for the retake, they wait out a little bit of the smokes as well. They have so much utility of their own, and there's just one member layering a couple of flashes, capitalizing LFO, completely blinding them rather, and no way the T's got any frags in the action. And we just rush B don't work, rush A don't work, now rush B. Yeah, they got a bit of cheater control. Question is, what do you do with it? LFO setting up a bit of the util. Oh, and this timing could be pristine for Auto as well. Silently creeping up. Sterling on the line, though. Good for the first one in the trade. It's not going to come through. There's a third, though. Are they going to be ready for Tux? They don't need to be ready for him because the crunch is coming in through the flames. Hazza is going to be burning on down. The rifle does the job. Savage for the trade. And this should be the save for Order.
That's what I mean. Just the back and forth in this map is just chaotic. You know, Order do something insane, and then all of a sudden it just completely flips on its head and happens the way that it has. You know, there's definitely a bit of a leak over towards this B site right now. Nobody is playing to the top right now. That's where I think we sort of end up. Maybe there's some fatigue. Maybe the fact that it's a long weekend, who knows? Obviously a day off for all of those in Australia, New Zealand, I do believe.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow, that's the one. But yeah, geez, this is just, again, it's been an immaculate series. I feel like the first one in Vertex versus LFO was way more competitive. In a sense that we got to see incredibly good Vertex on Vertigo, really solid LFO on Ancient, and then two solid teams facing off, duking it out on Overpass. And so far, you know, it looked like Order were a little bit weaker on Overpass. LFO were a little bit weaker on Vertigo. But
yeah. Well, I think as well, Mitch.
It's just scrap.
It's scrap for right now because remember, T-side Ancient can be a beast that you can't gain control of. You need to really grab those reins and have a firm grip. And LFO at the moment, it feels like they've got a little bit of clammy hands right now. They just need to clean them up and get a grasp on it. So definitely the time in the map that they can start to do that. Of course, Order's not too far forward as well. We haven't even hit double digits in the rounds just yet.
Well, still so much. Game's tight. You know, LFO, 3 rounds, already a decent start. Opportunity to take more on this T side. And yeah, just Order, they're just constantly trying to find this fight so early on. Lots of times where we've seen sort of them lose that opening pick and then LFO able to capitalize. We don't want to see too many saves here.
Oh, this is
Vexite.
Risky business right now as well
for
for him, but he's got one. Molly locks him in, however, and Licky isn't game enough for the trade. He will tempt fate here, but I think even the damage, mate. Vexite. And Tux for the late peak as well. Still, Savage can get in towards this site. Valiance has looked the AWP away, so the Donut player is the only one here. Ustillo, see what he's going to be able to at least find. Wouldn't mind Savage pushing all the way through spawn here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's still got to be so careful.
But there's 30 seconds.
That's what I mean, right? Like, look at where Ustillo is, like, so forward. Savage has got all the positioning, but he hasn't even made too much of a clear. APOC trying to walk into house, that's locked down. Like, all of LFO are just so split up.
Yeah.
So weirdly positioned. As Valiance is able to capitalize on that now. Ustillo should hear the audio cue. Molly goes down, watching towards mid. Smoke, though, should give some space. But it's going to be Valiance to drop Savage now. It is all on Sterling in a 1 versus 4. Doesn't have the HP to do it. Gyra's going to find it. 3 alive for Order. Potentially a double AWP. I don't actually know if there was a second, but regardless, 6 rounds now have been found. Money is there for a reinvestment that Savage is going to be taking through an SMG, it would seem. Maybe
I understand why Savage is stuck around on the site there. It's because Sterling was low and the bomb plant needed to go. Donut was dirty. They needed a little bit of the safeguard of that plant. But it's also when you're a player down, you've got a team at that low. You got to weigh up the risk versus the reward of actually pushing CT spawn and them not being expecting. If you've got APOC in house and he's kind of drawing a little bit of attention away from a player, Savage going through spawn there would have been perfect. Let Sterling try and get the bomb plant down for himself, because if he is able to get it down, you've then really got a forward position to keep Order out of that round. It might have been worth the risk for him. Now Order aren't even letting him out of spawn.
Yeah, they're getting hungry again, though. You know, Vexite all a long way down here. It's a great flash over the top, and this is what I mean. They've been punished for it. Now, Vexite has a very awkward fight to try and take, but it's not going to matter because he is the big man on campus here. Sterling tries to find the trade, but Vexite is just too clean. And now, again, look how far away these members of LFO are. Vexite not only has the bomb, not only has the control, but he has the confidence behind him. He wants that ace, and he deserves it at this point in time. Savage slowly walking towards the long doors, but Vexite, he actually chooses to fall away, doesn't want to continue the play. Happy to team up, join that buddy system and sit back on the site and hold down for the lockdown to ensure that the sites do not get taken.
Oh, I thought APOC was going to potentially go for a little bit of spam, but they want to be silent. They want to be deadly. They are considering how to get back into this round, if at all, because there's a single flashbang. And if you're going in towards B, where 3 CTs are currently surrounding, it's going to be very difficult to get in. Vexite on a line, Gyro to swing that you cannot convincingly clear without sacrificing a body, potentially. Vexite can technically just tuck in. He'll spray with the smoke. Gonna get a little bit of a love tap out. Then Gyro peeks and finds the both of them. Well played round from Order. And they find 7.
Man, oh man. Vexite has been a pivotal part, not only of this series, but the previous as well. I do believe it was plus 21 or something like that. It was a 70 frag series. Always big from the man himself. Certainly has been a exciting prospect for such a long time. You know, now obviously finding himself up towards the top of the region. Stilling walking out that smoke. Tux, he's been punished so many times, but this time he'll find the right timing. Bomb still down, but LFO have just been looking not super hot these last few rounds. This round, obviously, only an eco. Not too much to stress about. It's okay. It's just going to be damage, potentially. Ricky tries to throw something over the top, but that's all.
I think one of the problems right now as well is, you know, times like these when we saw the scoreline flip the other way, and let's say LFO hit their 8th, it was then Order coming back to make it, you know, a 9-6 or an 8-7. Now that we've hit that mark for Order, are we going to see LFO be able to reenact that as well and at least get up towards, you know, 5 or 6 on the T side, make it something of a comparable T side half going in towards CT? Because if they don't, if this does bloom out to something like a 12-3, I think that's a little bit shattering for them. You know they're still going to be mentally resilient to get back into this, but the flip side of that is Order are reverse sweeping. Order are absolutely dominating the CT side. You know, 1 or 2 slip-ups on LookingForOrg's CT side, and might even be GG. You know, you drop pistol, you drop second. If they force up, game spirals out.
Anything can happen. Still, the game is so far from done. So many opportunities, 1-to-1 series in the scoreline. LFO had a dominant win on Overpass. Now there's that first flash up. Tux has been caught off. The Molotov will keep him in an awkward position. Vexite somehow walks away with 1, but he's taken down. There's 2 wall bangs to come through for LFO, and I don't know if they're going to be ready from Gyra. Are they? Where's 1? There's 2. Lining up, not quite. So much damage has been dealt here. Does Ustillo try to find the fight?
He's stuck on the wall. He can't get through at the moment as well. There's a gap in the smoke that he might be trying to get, but he's waiting for Valiance to get on the line over at the quad angle as well. And with the smokes all starting to fade, Val can throw one. I think he's going to be putting it over towards the ramp, rather, to block off one bit of it vision. But you've got 3 CTs to contend with. You've got the spam from APOC through the wall. You got Savage holding down the corner. The time's ticking away. You've lost Ustillo. And now it's Valiant for the 1 versus 3, which you can't get it done. So finally, LFO, they will answer back in turn and find their 4th.
The trade out so nicely there, you know, LFO. This time they were a little bit more patient, and unfortunately, you know, again, the forward position of Tak, he's been punished, and I think they've, you know, realized that these last few rounds, and they're capitalizing on it nicely. He's very much been that sacrificial lamb here, you know, in a position to be traded out by Vexite, by Gyra. But it's another round on the board for LFO. And again, as we sort of spoke about in the previous series of, you know, Vertex versus LFO, it's like, you know, 5 rounds on the T side can be good. It can be good enough. And Ustillo, he's been punished as well. Look at this space. Look at this speed. Kaza, he's also found Vexite, no head armor.
So this is the point in time in the rounds where having one player on the like wider extremity actually kind of works out, because you found a player over through mid. You then cut off the head of the flank, and now you can just put all focus on towards getting that bomb down on the site nice and early. The flashbang is perfect onto Gyra. I think he was even spotted out by Savage, not 100% sure, but regardless, LFO have locked Order out of this site. Unless Tux wants to tempt his hand at going for it, which he won't. He'll be navigating to mid to upgrade his A to a better weaponry, to an AK potentially. Because you don't want to be taking a Famis into the next round. If there's better guns on the floor. Though, kind of not really retrievable.
Yeah, well, just this position, right, is the classic. You know, order of obviously 1 out the half, sure, but LFO finds 7. Like, that's seriously scary. Tux goes down. Oh, he has had an absolutely rough one. You know, I hate battering down on it because love the bloke.
What was
love
it?
Watching him play.
It was
but
his
he's
T
just getting
side.
wrecked here.
It was his T side that was strugglesome over on Vertigo, 0 to 9. The CT side, he lit up like a flame, and now he's snuffed out.
Yeah. It's just the fact that he's regularly been this opening pick. You know, he's been the way in for LFO. So he's just got to be careful, right? You know, there's one more opportunity for Order. It's a little bit more dire for them. See if they actually can collect this next round. Ustilo goes for the fight, but Sterling is ready for it. You know, it was a bit of a bold play, but that's the kind of, you know, play that you need to make. We've already seen Order walk away with a complete eco off the back of Valiance as 1v3.
You have to be a little bit more cautious if you are Hazard here. You are the player by yourself, untradeable. Do not need to move whatsoever until your team has that bomb down. And with Gyra having that M4 in hand, we'll see what sinister plays he's going to be able to throw out. It's a nice grenade collection out. Vexite has been rolled for 3 and caught in that Pokeball. Gyra, though, reveals that he has this A1S onto APOC. And now with the bomb trying to go down on the A site, all the CTs here are there to fight.
So they're close. Tux looking for the clear. Licky, it's in a position where he can be felled at the close range, but obviously it's not going to be the frag found. Some more damage done, but Gyra alone on an island does get 1. Licky crosses, but that's going to be the flank in from Hazard.
Yep. Don't peek. I got this.
Yeah, that's it. Man, see, this is what I mean, right? 6 rounds.
Well, this is exactly what I was...
away from the 7-8, yeah?
I was exactly saying it. The side, one of these teams in all 3 of these maps has had a commanding lead at the beginning of the half, the first half, and the other team just comes back to make it really close at the later stage of the first half. And then you flip sides and one team kind of just walks away with it. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see for that one. It is the last round in this half now. And it is going to be back towards mid. Gyra punished again for trying to get over the ledge of mid. And look at the flame damage. Look at the molly damage. They're stuck in between them. It's unfortunate Hazard couldn't find it, but he was that lurking player. Now Licky has got in towards CT. I wish that was a smoke to completely block out the vision. But it's going to push Ustilo to push in towards the main. And he will manage to find Savage. So there's a multi-prong retake to come through on this A side.
Jesus, they're just everywhere and everywhere right now. Order are so low, 12, 12, 49, and 62. Not exactly what you want to be moving into a retake with, especially not when Licky rips your head off there as Vexite does get felled. Now Licky looking for more as well, and he's in such a good position to do it too.
Oh, he's got one.
It's shaky, but he does close it. Tux, good for the trade. Both low, tradable. Oipok does get the job done, and Ustilo, who's been trapped inside this cave since the day dot of the round. Sterling holding the line, and ladies and gentlemen, it is a 7 to 8 half. Anything can happen from here, but you're going to have to find out on this cliffhanger into the next half. We'll be right back. Are definitely got to be shaking in their boots a little bit right now. You know, LFO keen for another international event. Same with Order. And Dion, yourself and myself, we're just looking at this lineup for who's going to be playing at IEM Dallas 2022, and it is an absolutely huge one. Experience alone will be massive for these 2 teams, but we are going to find out very, very soon about who will find that spot. Super important. It's a big one. And of course, is going to be a hot and quick pistol out towards B. But it's going to be Hazard to find the opener. Yeah, the opener there, but the bomb plant down for Order is what they're going to be challenging for at the moment. Gyra's just getting blinded up like crazy at the moment, and everybody around this corner taking the fights. Gyra still manages to find one at least, but the CTs, it's Hazard in for the 4 and not the ace. Savage, what have you done? Yep. Stolen the ace, but they have a kiss at the back. It's all good. They're homies, you know, it's fine.
That would have been a nutty ace, though, to be honest. All those shots coming through, man.
So sharp.
I actually thought with the space that Order had found into all the site and pushing back quad that it actually would have gone Order's way, but unfortunately not, has absolutely a brick wall. And we do have a pause coming on through. This is a technical, just on the side of order. So hopefully it isn't
given
too
the call
long.
that is a headset issue, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long.
Cool. Whose headset?
We'll find out. Just gonna be told in a second. Admin's discussing right now. But yeah, explosive start. Oh, gyros. Okay. So it shouldn't be too far away.
Would you rather, in a round, have your headset go flat or your mouse go flat? If your cable is near for both of them, I guess it doesn't really matter, but you gotta like fumble to get one back in.
Yeah. Probably probably headset. I'd prefer headset to go out, I reckon. Because at least you can still see, right?
Sounds.
Yeah. Just instead of just coming to an absolute standstill, not being able to shoot at all. That's certainly a tough one.
Do you reckon any of these players have safeguards for the wireless mouse users on a long day? Do you reckon they've got like the cable ready?
Oh, they'd have to. They have to. I think a lot of them would probably even have the charging pad as well. That would make sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But man, like, I'm just so happy that this series has lined up the way it has. Like, again, ending up being two extremely solid teams. Like, I think both teams probably feeling pretty blessed that Renegades isn't here. You know, thanking the lucky stars of Aftershock. Glad that Aftershock actually made it into the close quals as well. You know, if they ran through the open quals and took down Renegades and then didn't make it, it would have been a little bit upsetting. But they also showed up too. They also had some really good runs on the board in the close quals. You know, extremely close games. New roster. You know, Val, not exactly a new player, but stepping up to the plate, looking awesome.
Just
and of course,
for those wondering, I guess we should not Valiance, Valhalla.
No, Valhalla.
Yeah.
So what's the roster? Ricky, Nikez, Infrequent, Valhalla, and Addict. So a mix of, you know, young and old. Some newer talent in Valhalla and, of course, Addict. Not new, you know, by any sort of means, but like lesser experienced, I guess you could say, when it comes to the big stage. Whereas the other three have all had, you know, some serious international runs on the board. Ricky with his run internationally, obviously he was. I'm not sure if it was exactly stepped down from the order roster or if he stepped down himself. That was never really kind of clarified. It's always up for discussion, but. Now this roster, obviously Tuck's coming back, Valiant stepping over from the small side anchor into his position now as the AWPer. It has seemed to work out for him because, you know, Valiant's similar story to like, you know, Liaz, I guess, on 100 Thieves. Like you put the star player into the small side anchor role and it really kind of impacts their performance. So many things can change.
We were going to be into the game, but we've just had... from a headset bug to an FPS bug, so we've got Counter-Strike happening now. It's all right. A little bit of a breather for us all. Build up the hype and the anticipation that, folks, this half will decide. Touch wood, we don't go into OT. If who's going to IEM Dallas?
Jeez.
Who's in for a nice long flight?
Yeah,
sleepless
that's the big
night,
one, isn't it? Yeah, for everyone watching along, I think it's roughly sort of 20 plus hours to get from our east coast of Sydney and Melbourne all the way over to the Dallas way. Wondering what even flight path they'd take. They go LAX, I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll get too far in the thought pattern for that one. But regardless, it's a huge opportunity for them to have such a fight against so many incredible teams. You know, it might be a first round knockout, maybe, sure, but it's still going to be an awesome run for them. You know, involve the boot camp, get over there early, get some prac in, and then bring it home. Improve the teams around you locally, because that's what we're seeing right now. And then, of course, you know, down the track, obviously with ANZ Champs next week, we've got 2 more spots in Sweden down the year for ESL Challenger. There's just all these incredible things that are coming through in the, you know, ESL DreamHack world, and it's a beautiful thing. So happy to be a part of it all. And big shout to all of you who is sitting in the chat supporting Australia, New Zealand CS. So order, back to the game now. It's just going to be a pretty dry run out towards B, it looks. And unfortunately, the nades have been overshot. And now they'll just sort of sit pretty and wait outside the cave.
Yep, they were thrown to back quad. And they only gave Hazard a little love tap. Now, Licky, the smoke probably not going to do too much in the grand scheme of things if you've got 4 order members holding W with really nothing to lose in a round such as this. We let the ambience of the map, which is something that I wish you could turn off.
It's not as bad as what Overpass, right? That train, man.
Oh, trains. Yeah, it is quite loud. So you got like birds chirping, you got like water, you've got that train. Like maps all have a different ambience noise, but smooth jazz tones. Where is our smooth jazz tones for the ambience? You know, it's an ambulance for a second. Somehow Order have gotten through CT and are trying to get in towards the side of A, and they have managed to swindle 2 frags, a gun, and Gyra. Not a third.
Not quite enough to find the plant, but that's okay. At least it was a round where they have done some damage this time. Obviously, the T side. A little bit more stronger on the economic side than the old CT, right? You know, a broken CT economy can be much, much harder to fix than a T. But it will be interesting, right? You know, LFO taking the lead on, again, just to continue to double down on Ancient being the most CT-sided map in the pool right now. So it's a very, very scary prospect to be facing off against, right? You know, Vexite out mid, though, and he's been punished for it. Straight into the fire. Cock will be mollied off, but look at the fight. He takes it. Sterling's there. Wow. Another. Oh, geez. This is not looking good right now for Order. Tux does get...
They've overstayed their welcome.
Back into it. Yeah, exactly right. But they're still split. Ustillo up towards B. Licky can reposition. Are they going to spot him out?
Not tradable.
Still a great shot. Still a great shot, but not quite the second. Now Tuck's in a 1-on-2. And he's half HP, but so is Hazard.
2 1v1s right now that Tux may be able to fight. Is he going to attempt his hand and just walk through this smoke? It might actually bode well for him with Hazard rotating out behind the quad down toward Ivy. Oh, if he plays his timing right as well, Hazard. I mean, Savage could even meet with Hazard in house. Oh, he spotted him.
Spotted him.
There's one. Oh, he's got it. Now Savage knows he can get here quick.
That's the only thing. There is a kit. There is some utility around as well. HE available. That actually could damage down Savage heavily. Timing. Didn't see him, didn't hear him. We're all good so far. Time to still be fared out for Tux. There is that nade that Savage can use to try and make him squirm a little bit, but he's got so many angles to clear all the way back around quad as well. Into the cubby, into the cave. It's not planted for Tux either, so I think Savage is going to have to go for this walk. Going to have to try and clear the angle. Is he going to check it? No, he's absolutely not. And now we hear the audio. Tux, I think he might have just done it, Dion. He's clutched it out, and he is the big man on campus here for Order.
Massive plays from Tux in the 1-on-2. Manages to just catch the tail end of one player and then finish him off. Get the plant. Kind of just bamboozle Savage there. You know, you got to be clearing out those corners. Unfortunately, the one little box hide doesn't go your way. The one position you don't check is where your opponent is. And with no smoke to try and assist you to get on toward that defuse, doesn't go your way. And now the money is, well, not there. For LFO. They have opened their wallets, nothing. So, as they take a pause, see what the outcome is going to be. I mean, you could get a pistol if you're Licky and APOC, I guess, but definitely want to be holding on to get all the utilities out when you do have your gun rounds. We are actually going to see APOC full force into this round, and likewise the rest of LFO. Although, no, yeah, they're committed to a force here.
They are indeed. So this is the break point. But again, still so much more of this map, of this series to even sort of prosper, I guess. Right, you know, like, even if Order do walk away with this round, they stack up their economy nicely. Set LFO down, you know, maybe find 11. Still going to be such a tough fight, you know. Getting that momentum on the T side of Ancient is so challenging. And now Licky has actually managed to fell. There's APOC as well, so maybe we're getting a little bit even too far ahead of ourselves as Tux has been tagged up as well. But Sterling,
Oh, wow.
Sterling gets another. He's doing it all. Look at him go. It's just pot shots, 1 to 1 to 1. And looks like LFO have pretty much won this round. Another tag.
Not just yet, Mitch.
Surely another shot.
Well, if he pulls out his sidearm, he might be able to get both of them here with the plant going down. There's no protection on towards you. Still low. One for Valiant, and he's got everyone to watch. No bomb plane either. These are those rounds where I will always question the purchase, and I'm hoping the team answers me why. And they have answered it in spades. MP9's put to good use. The scout of Sterling not punished whatsoever. LFO, give an order a wake-up call in that one.
Yeah, geez. This is what I mean, right? I won't continue to double down on it, though.
Well, just think, we've seen how many rounds that Order have done what with pistols in this one. It's about time LFO answered them back.
I don't know, man. The Glocks aren't as good as the USPs. That's the only thing, right? USPs at least have a little bit more dink potential, but nah, we're golden. Should be just an easy cleanup here for LFO. They are just such a solid CT side team on Ancient, and that's what I mean, right? You know, Order really messed up on that CT side, like trying to lock down as many rounds as possible. Allowing LFO to find 7 was just such a fall apart. And again, you know, I felt like it was just they maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too forward on that CT side, allowing LFO to find the opening picks. But now looking to jump their way out towards A. It will just be the one member in Savage, has the smoke available, but it might be just time to find the fight. APOC does find one, a jumping Tux. He'll be taken, and he's done some more damage as well, and Savage will join. So APOC should be able to live on for a little longer. Gyro will take him in the end, but now it's all on a Vexite in a 1 versus 4. Does have the P250, a little bit more damage potential, but no, nothing gonna happen. LFO walk away with 11 here, and their economy has been stacking up nicely. Not quite enough to get the AWP up for Sterling just yet, I don't think. Maybe it's not really that necessary as well. Yeah, they're just going to invest and make sure they've got that full spread of utility. Smart choice. Full investment, again, of course, from the side of Order. But where are they going to take it? Like, they lose this, they fall back to an eco. You know, LFO keep a few alive. That's when you really start to potentially, you know, think about throwing out a couple of GGs in the series like this.
Well, the Order are turning up the heat around this B side at the moment. They have just absolutely sent LFO packing. And for Licky, he doesn't know exactly where the action is coming from. It doesn't matter. He's completely blinded out. Now the sidearm! The USP you're talking about, it finds a bloody kill. Sterling on towards Valiance, and you're thinking, all right, Order are in the site. They'll find this one frag at the bomb plant, and LFO have no business here. Well, apparently, LFO have a firmer handshake, Mitchell. Oh my
God.
How's it on a gyra?
That's a handshake where you shake the hands of someone you don't like and just squeeze down.
I want to know
insane.
Why Licky has been flashed in towards Cave with 2 HP. Is it just to find where Tux was?
Oh, it's just to get him out, I suppose. You know, he's feeling so confident.
He ran in there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, Tux, 50 seconds. He's got time to sort of hold it down, but like he has to try find 4 1v1s. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Sterling holding the line. At least it's a good shot from Tux. That makes it, you know, somewhat doable. The smoke goes down. Molly goes through. Savage will reposition as well. But yeah, like just to reiterate, right? That was Licky completely blinded. Excellent flash from Vexite. And then not only does Ustillo mess it up, then Vexite can't shoot a USP either. So immaculate stuff there from Licky. And he has just been an absolute starlet during the entirety of today. It's been so beautiful to watch. No way.
That's
damn. You were a believer for a second,
yeah. It always makes you wonder, like, you know, because the amount of information a human can get immediately from a visual, like, as Counter-Strike connoisseurs, we see that. It's 1, 2, maybe the 3rd.
You just want to see it happening, right? Like, just no matter what team you're supporting, you start to see the clutch come through. It's like, you got to back him. Got to back him every day of the week. But nah, look, now is really where I start, you know, get behind LFO a little bit more in the way that it's like we're really closing in on a victory here, unless Order do something right. And they did everything right in the previous round. They had that control, they had that positioning, but they just whiffed. Like, Doesn't matter how much control you have. If you don't have the shots, it's a bit rough. But now it's going to be a full A-side execute. There is going to be APOC there waiting as well. Savage not going to be cleared. Nice opening shot there from APOC. Does get traded, but that's just the Glock and APOC. He can pull out the USP. He's absolutely fine. Vexite last man standing. Oh, no. Never mind. You're still
No, there's two.
up towards cave. Never mind.
APOC
He's so far
found
away,
three.
I didn't even register it.
Oh, but the smoke fades. Vexite 21 HP. Straight in towards the crosshairs of Hazard. And for Ustillo, nowhere near the action. Yes, it's going to be good for the frag on towards Licky, but are we going to get the feeling in our bellies of what we did when Tux was just attempting a 1 versus 3? The shoulder bait out from Ustillo. They know where he is. It's 50 seconds. No smoke over towards the donut line because Sterling's AWP is already positioned on it. And he is going to get pre-fire, but he's still going to hit the shot. 13 now on the trot for LFO. There's a purchase to come through for order, but how much time are we going to see them utilize here to talk about what they want to do? No pause coming through. It's a very, very crucial round to keep LFO from getting 14. Straight into it.
Four rounds is all that it is on the difference. Molly out for Tux over towards the window. Some utility as well to send APOC packing, but look at that nade straight in Ustillo and Vexite.
Well, that would have been something sinister for Sterling if he was able to find the shot through the smoke. However, it's going to be the mid control for order, and a throwback towards, you know, CT teams. How do they play mid? Do they relinquish complete control or do they fight for it? Looks like it's going to be LFO doing the former. As APOC is fighting from the donut, he's going to be able to bite off more than he can chew on the second one. Jara with 9 HP, leaving a sour taste in his mouth unless a sweet one. And a miss shot from Savage as well. Shots. But the bomb, Mitch, is starting to go towards B.
Yeah, I'm liking this little double up. It is the dynamic duo in Hazard and Sterling sitting towards back quad. Molotov passed over. And Sterling's just going to continue to watch towards house. So, still a winnable position for order, given their spacing. Ustillo has found his way in towards the house, but that smoke going back down for Hazard gives himself way more time. Great opening shot, but traded by Vexite. And now Sterling back onto that line as well. I actually don't think they've got the utility, but there's Ustillo with the timing now. Sterling has to make something happen. He has to make something happen quick. He's moving straight on towards the site. Now, will we see a pop out? Vexite just on the other side of the cave. Sterling still moving, still wriggling. Quick scope, is it available? It's not. It's a 1v3 for Licky. And I think he might just want to take this rifle into the next round. This is the thing about the CT side of the economy. There's not much. They have a buy, but they lose that. And it could potentially turn a very big tide. Yeah,
definitely the time for orders to start to wriggle up a couple of these rounds on the T side as well. And I mean, you got to be careful if you're LFO. You lose a player, what position of the map haven't you catered for? Well, you never had mid control. You got to be expecting a push and a hold out through the house. And I guess they just don't really prioritize the clearing on it in the end, unfortunately. So a little bit of a fumbling for LFO in that round, but it does mean that order found double digits in gathering it. Talked about the money side for LFO here. And Savage is really the one that can't get a purchase in toward this next round. The rest of the team could, though I wonder. You know, we did see that purchase, that force buy earlier on from the boys. They had those MP9s, they had the scout, they were able to work out the round. So they are indeed going to fancy themselves a little bit of a force up here again. Toss the weapons over. Savage down to the MP9. We've got the AWP out for Sterling. What priorities are we going to see for LFO in this round? And what corners are they going to start cutting?
So much damage dealt again. Just chipping away slowly but surely. And that's a full HP member as well going down in the form of Ustillo. Jara also very, very low now. Poising up. Over towards A, lurk smoke out, and that should allow a little bit more space here. Sterling repositioning, but he's got a line. Tux does skip through. So they've got this space, and Jira's got a nice shot. All of a sudden, it becomes winnable. All of a sudden, it might be a chance. But look at Tux. Oh, he's walked straight past. He's right in front of him. Tux didn't know. He didn't know, Dion. And now Savage inside the temple. Valiant's caught off. Spotted.
Settle down. Just
again,
settle.
On the big green. Exactly. They just need to chill.
The problem, though, is if LFO settle, They need to have an idea that they're watching the exits of this site to not allow Order to get out or even to get in toward them. So Jira's going to be trying to force the issue now. Sterling's allowed the affordance of getting on the line. Jira, no idea that he can be seen at that current position. And the Valiant's 1v3 is on the table. Licky sees him. No, I don't think he has. So the creep up is coming out now. He knows 30 seconds for Val to play with. He's got the first. He can book it to B. And Sterling's going to give him the next 1v1 opportunity. I think Val might have heard it. With the scope in, it's a one-on-one now, Mitch. It's happening again. Guys, 1v3. And you're individually peeking him once again.
I got to give it to Valiance, though. The way he was able to isolate that space and just get those picks was incredible. He just completely skipped past Sterling. And then Sterling potentially thought, oh my God, this guy's rotating towards B, but it just didn't happen. Savage now in towards the temple, and I bet to believe he's bloody praying to try and find this frag. Valiance, all he needs to do is just not question himself. There is a kit in the hands of Savage. It's certainly doable, but the time's ticking away. He's going to have to start to clear all of these extremities here, whereas Valiance doesn't need to move an inch, not a muscle. The footsteps have been heard. He's clearing everything, has to try and jump on it. All he needs is a second, but it's not going to be given to him because that is going to be Valiance finding another 1 versus 3. This guy is absolutely worth his weight in gold right now. And that is a T timeout for Order being called. It's their 3rd one. And they're only 2 rounds away from dragging this one back through. And I got to admit, Dion, look at the cash on the side of LFO. There's nada.
I'm just kind of taken aback in that round for 2 things, right? And as you mentioned it, rightly so, the way Valiance positions himself in that 1 versus 3 to find those individual duels time and time again. But then it's also kind of on LFO's point there. It's a 1 versus 3. If you lose the first one, just sit. If he goes and plants at the other side of the map, well, you've got a 1 versus 2 to try and go into it. It's still an advantage at that current time, but it gets down to the 1v1, and Savage spends so much time trying to clear out the angles, making no noise, leading himself no time to just get on toward the bomb. If he goes for an early tap, potentially baits out where Valiance is playing from, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, didn't. Now it's the USPs going into the round for LFO. Licky with the P250 is all that they've purchased into it with. And for Order, it's the time to bring it to within 1. They're already in the B site looking for this plant. No one there for LFO. They can kind of just throw caution to the wind if they want in this one and go for a pick, or they can just stack and look for an exit.
Order in doing so, moving as a unit, just so nice to still see. They've got each other's backs. You still owe those. Got to be careful. Certainly dicey. Dinked up. Not good. Only losing the Mac 10 though. No stress. It's all gravy. So they haven't really given a whole lot over there. APOC just on the other side. They're still looking to actually find a fight through in towards CT. APOC. Oh my God. He's so close. Oh Jesus.
That's a jump scare.
Could you imagine? Yeah, being in that position right there. Always terrifying.
This is the time where it's like when you've got cameras at events and everything and you see the jump scare, it's like, yep, that was cool. Okay, that's
Ooh, okay.
I thought that was a team kill for a second.
Another frag found. 1 round game, Dion.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Touch wood.
How far away are we from a reset? Again, just 1 more round is all it's going to take. Like, LFO need to step up in form. Order actually now have a round that they can somewhat afford to lose. Like, not really at the same time. You never want to be losing in the 26th round of the match when it's a 13-12 scoreline. But, they have another bye. That's the main thing, right? They're not going to be in the same predicament as LFO, who are going to have absolutely nada into the next. And they've got no kit here as well. They are no AWP for Sterling. Don't even think he's really had a chance to get one into his hands many times this half. Saw Savage with it for a little bit and Sterling for a short time, but yeah.
Utility is kind of absolved for Order. Oh, what a pick from Gyra. I don't know if he spotted out the feet of APOC. He must have. It's pre-fire line. He's gotten that. Tux has found Savage as well. There's no control around the map for LFO. Currently, there's no position that they had safety in. They've seen or been seen rotating over towards the side as well from Ustillo. And whilst Hazard and Sterling find a frag apiece, now they're actually starting to get a wriggle on. Okay.
Hang on.
Into the donut. Sterling going a little bit chaotic. It doesn't feel like it with how the frags are coming out, but it is. It was a 5 versus 3, now 3 versus 1, and it's rather a 1 versus 3 from Vexite is how I should be phrasing it with what we've seen so far. Gap in the smoke. Hazard.
Oh, not good.
Okay.
After all that, you started to think maybe there's a bit more of a timeline here. Maybe it's Order tying it up.
I'm kind of
unfortunately, it just doesn't happen.
I'm kind of just a little bit confused in that round, such by the fact that it didn't feel like there was any pressure on Sterling whatsoever.
No. And he's edging closer to 30. You know, he's had such a destructive map here. You know, he was a little bit quiet on Vertigo, where they let him through the gates. But now Sterling has definitely showed up to the plate. You know, it's a silent 30 too. Like, there's not been really many moments outside of that round just then where we did see the multi-frag. It's just been him just chipping away slowly and just getting the job done overall.
What are we going to look to see from Order again? You know, not really a lot of utility that they can play with. The HE grenade is going to tickle Tux. No. Yes. Rather. 50. More than a tickle. But what priorities do LFO start to shift themselves within this round? No control in mid. APOC just has to make sure he's got control of house here. You can't allow Order the affordance of getting back up to this position again. And on the flip side for Order, you know, they've gotten cheater control. They've sniffed out a little bit of cave. They're waiting bottom mid. They don't know if there's any CTs back around it again. A flash in from LFO in toward the cave. A minute on the clock now, Mitch. Order, they're going to start to go in with an idea towards B. And who's currently around this side with what utility? We've got Hazza, we've got Licky, and there's no damaging utility. Another smoke to buy some time. That's what Hazza's going to throw down. Here's the util coming out from Order now. This is going to be a big hold for the boys.
We have to see a consistent take, though. All 5 members need to find this fight. There's one already going down, but there's the trades. You'd love to see it. Tux, Gyra getting the job done. And it is such an awkward spot now, but in the 3 versus 3, APOC makes it good for one more.
They've got
down to the advantage now for LFO. They are looking very, very nice as Ustilo, the only healthy member. There is a flash over towards the top, but Gyra is going to be taken by APOC.
Reverse spam him?
That's just nuts. This is crazy. You can't even start to question what's going on right now. Tap onto the defuse. Ustilo gives his position. And that is going to be not only map, not only series, but IEM Dallas 2022 qualifying point. And looking for Org have almost done it.
I got to give a big clap towards LFO in that one as well. They were really simmered and well measured in toward that round. APOC finds a couple of nice little headshots. I'll put my fist in my hand. They were big headshots that he's coming around with. And then they kind of settle. He gets the frag through the wall, and then they throw out their smokes. They let themselves play in as a team. They have the retake. They find the frag. They bait in the player. And then they get towards 15. So, as you say, IEM Dallas point. 3 of them to try and 2 of them.
Yeah,
this is technically 3. There's 13 and 14 as well. So we'll include this one. We've got 3 to play with. And for this round, it's probably going to look to be one of the best, as Order don't really have much weaponry. No utility.
Exactly right. And all I've got to say is, you know, just the way, like, if Order are going to end up watching this back, just them settling into their post plans, they've just been ripped apart. Like, LFO have given them no space, no time at all. They've just been straight in there immediately. And it's just been so hard for them to try and find this fight back. There we go. You're still good for 1. And I guess the only saving grace is the fact that the money's still not stable. So this game is not done just yet, but I need to see a stable post plan from Order. I need to see them send LFO packing. I need to see them find all the frags in the round as well, not allowing any saves to come through. So they get their way into Temple. Savage has the AWP in hand. Has had a decent run so far. Sterling still controlling house.
That smoke's about to fade in the donut as well, and Hazza gets blinded, but maybe they lined up. Savage has also found one in the mix as well. So LFO, they have the player advantage. And Mitch, it's happening again. Order are all spread out around the map. Not a single player is within visual sight, arm's length, none of it. You still are in house. Licky just has to sit here and wait. He does not need to budge. Sterling can play info at the site of B, and it should be the lockdown. The body, it's a right-eye peek. It doesn't work for you, Stillo. You know that one. And now Sterling's seen the rest of the boys. It's just out of Vexite. Take it home, baby. Take it home.
Vexite's picked up the rifle. He only had the MAC-10. Sterling is holding that line on the cross. He wants it. He gets it. And there it will be, ladies and gentlemen. Your victors and your qualifying team for IEM Dallas is going to be Looking for Org. They have absolutely earned it. They've played 6 maps today, and they have looked super, super strong, only being bested on the map of Vertigo, and that was by